Okay, so today and tomorrow we're going to be talking about lines and linear equations basically. So you should have this little booklet here, or at least the PDF of this little booklet. It has a bunch of little illustrations and some tables next to them. You should also have some equations that we're going to cut out and some graphs. Now, unless you're printing this off from online, these graphs are not going to be labeled. So go ahead and go through and label them A, B, C, D, E, F, and so on, till you get to L at the very bottom there. Okay, then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to cut out all this fun. So go ahead and cut those out. Okay, now that we've cut these pieces out, we're going to put them off to the side for a little bit. And we're going to start looking at our tables. And we'll come back to those pieces in a second. So when we look at this first illustration, I'm going to zoom in here just a tad. Okay, look at this first illustration. I have what appears to be a water tank of some kind that's emptying into another water tank. And basically it tells me that my change in height is 1 centimeter per second. So that means that this water tank is changing by 1 centimeter each second. 1 centimeter, it's losing 1 centimeter each second, and this water tank would be gaining 1 centimeter each second. So I have a couple of tables here. The top one that represents the top and one that represents the bottom. So I'm just going to fill in some values here. So at 0 seconds, nothing's changed, right? So before anything starts emptying into the other water bottle, we see that this water bottle or tank has 6 centimeters, right? So it starts with 6 centimeters. After 1 second, it would have lost a centimeter, right? So it would be down to 5. After 2 seconds, it would lose another centimeter, so it would be down to 4. After another one, it would be at 3, and then it would be at 2, and then it would be at 1, and then after 6 seconds, it should be completely empty, and it would be at 0. Okay? And then this table over here is going to represent what's happening on the bottom. So on the bottom, it starts at 0, right? It's completely empty. So it's starting at 0, and then after 1 second, it would gain this centimeter from the top, so it'd be at 1 centimeter. After 2, it'd be at 2, after 3, it'd be at 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, and then at 6 seconds, it should have all 6 centimeters from the top emptied into the bottom. And that would be your table that would represent both those situations. Okay, we're going to go through and do that same thing with all these illustrations. So like this next one has a change in height of 2 centimeters per second. The top one starts at 4, so at 0 seconds it's at 4, and the bottom one starts at 2. Okay, so we're losing 2 centimeters a second this time, right? So after 1 second I would lose 2, so it'd be down to 2, and then after 2 seconds it would be at 0. And then I'd be at 0 like the rest of the time, right? Like I no longer have any water that can be distributed. This one, after 1 second, I would gain 2, so I'd be at 4, and then I'd be at 6 after 2 seconds, and again, there's only 6 centimeters of height total, so I would stay at 6 centimeters the rest of the way. Okay, not too typical, right? Now, do the same thing with the third table here. And then for these last few here, this one doesn't tell me the change in height. This one doesn't tell me the change in height either. This one tells me the change in height, but I don't have a starting amount. So we're going to need some more information. So what we're going to do is we're going to have you guys pause this video and start looking at the next video, because I'm going to show you what to do with the graphs. And then once you've watched some of that video, pause it and come back to this video. So go ahead and pause it right now, and then you can come back to this point. It's at 5 minutes, and we'll continue. Okay, so hopefully you went back and watched the graph video. In the graphing video, we went through and we found that these two graphs, oh, whoops, I'm on the wrong page here, that these two graphs matched with F4, okay, F and C. And we did that by looking at where they're starting. Like this one's starting at 4 and it's losing, or I guess this was the only one that could have been starting at 4 that was going down this fast. And from it, we could see that it was losing 4 seconds, or not 4 seconds, 4 centimeters in 1 second. And this one's gaining 4 centimeters in 1 second. So I can go ahead and write in this change in centimeters was 4. And then to finish these tables, this top table started at 4, right? Just like the graph that I matched it with. And this next table, or I mean, after 1 second, I was all the way down to 0, right? According to my graph. And then it stayed at 0 the rest of the time. This one started at 2, and then it gained an extra 4 centimeters after 1 second, so it ended at 6. And then it stays there the rest of the time. Okay? And again, that's what you're doing with these last ones, is again, you're matching up the remaining graphs and using the graphs to fill in the remaining values on your tables. Okay? Not too tough. Again, we've eliminated most of the graphs now. That only leaves 4 graphs left for the last 2. And it should be pretty obvious what's left there. So if you have any questions about how to fill in these tables or anything like that, come ask your teachers. We're here to help. We want to help. But that should be it for the filling in the tables video. Again, there's going to be a graphing video where you're matching the graphs, and there'll be a video about the equations as well. So there's 3 videos to watch for these 2 days.